Carolyn Fuller. I reside at 100 Stewart Avenue in Norwalk. I would like to start tonight to say that I'm here to speak to the board. I usually speak to the board about my wonderful Jefferson Science Magnet, the only nationally recognized blue ribbon school, public school in Connecticut, elementary. Okay, but tonight I'm coming for a different reason. And I really need to speak from my heart tonight. What is going on here over the past few weeks, I really don't understand. As a child of the 60s, as a child of the South, it disturbs me what I am seeing that is going on with, between the Board of Ed and really with the community. The community who really hasn't done anything but ask that our children, and when I say our, and you can go back in the record, when I say our, I mean all children in Norwalk. Not just one part, not one segment of it, but every child that steps into a school in Norwalk deserves the best education they can get. And they don't deserve adults that are acting like children. And believe me, they are watching. They know. Children are sponges, and they know what goes on. They see us. And I really feel my late husband, Richard Fuller, served on that very board for over 20 years. And he served the children of Norwalk. And that's what you're elected to do. Tolerance, respect, compassion, and kindness are only a few of the principles that daily we as educators, and not only the educators, I say this every time, any person, each one teach one. I don't care if it's someone in the cafeteria, if it's the custodian, whoever. If you have a chance to deal with a child in the school, you should have those principles. And that's the way that you should, that is the way that you should conduct yourselves. Those are the principles that the people on the board and also in our schools should adhere to. The great poet Langston Hughes wrote a poem that said, "I too sing America." And in it, he said that I'm in the kitchen, I'm your darker brother, and you leave me there to eat. But as I'm eating, I'm growing strong. And one day, I'm going to come to the front. And when I come to the front, I'm coming strong. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Michael Byrne. I live at 8 Mohackamo Drive, and I'm president of the PTO Council in Norwalk. The last time I addressed this board, it was in December, shortly after Dr. Rivera announced his resignation. I had hoped that by now things would have settled down and we'd be getting on with the critical work ahead of us. But the past few weeks have been truly difficult in our school system. We have had one board member resign, there is a petition circulating to remove another, and old accusations of discrimination have continued to poison our city. Norwalk parents are tired of losing competent leaders, of infighting on this board, and of issues that have nothing to do with education derailing meaningful reform. The PTO Council this week filed a Freedom of Information request of Ms. Mosby in an effort to make public any and all records that support her allegation of discrimination. I am aware that others have filed similar requests, but our petition comes from parents of school children across the city. When asked whether they felt the council should take on this issue, the response was overwhelmingly in favor of action. We exert our rights under the Freedom of Information Act, not for political reasons, but out of an urgent sense that these issues need to be resolved. The PTO Council has long shared the board's desire to improve student outcomes in Norwalk. For this reason, our member organizations donate hundreds of thousands of dollars to our schools each year. Through the efforts of our local PTOs, we are able to fund teaching supplies, facilities improvements, technology upgrades, and enrichment programs for thousands of students. I just came from the district science fair at Brian McMahon High School, and the quality of work on display rivals any in America. I could not help but feel pride in our students. Still, there remain many who struggle and many in need of our help. We will never close the achievement gap, provide for those with special needs, or ready our English language learners for higher education without a concerted effort. Only by joining the resources of our professional educators with parents and community leaders will we effectively change the system and make a difference for our children. Today, the PTO Council is offering a platform to resolve the persistent issues that trouble this board. Let us convene a town hall meeting to discuss the claims made by Ms. Mosby and others, to examine their evidence, and to finally resolve these conflicts. We will find a suitable venue and choose a moderator acceptable to all parties. Please do not allow this opportunity for open dialogue to pass us by. It's time to clear the air for the sake of Norwalk's children. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Angella Harrison, 7 Sable Street, Norwalk, Connecticut, and I'm the president of the Truth Serum. And I would like to say that this board, if the things that are happening to Shirley Mosby can happen in public, an open forum for the world to see, we can only imagine what's happening to the children in Norwalk. And it comes a time and a point where when you know that your voices and your votes don't matter and don't count, then it's up to the community to stand up and do something and stop begging and start taking your own lead. Because nobody has to beg anybody for what we need. What we need, we can take in our own hands. If it's not respected, that nothing for our children, the things that go on in Norwalk School is despicable. And this board sitting here has been responsible for it for not just this year, for all the years past. You are responsible for what has happened to our children. We know that the mass incarceration with the Board of Ed, DCYS, and everything that gets implemented at this school district against the black community is very prevalent. There are too many families in court. There are too many families, their children have been put out and cast out of school. There's too many black children growing up in this city with no hope at all because of the people who are in charge can't even open the door so they can come in and have a decent education. So it's really sad. But I'm glad the community's here because you need to take heed because it's well and alive racism in America and how our kids are high numbers in jail. And even though we don't have the fire that New York carries, we need to get some. Because what is happening is devastating. And these people who sit here as gatekeepers, allowing this to happen year after year, you come to the board, oh yes, we're going to implement this, we're going to try to do this. And it's the same business as usual, year after year, time after time. And if you know a vote can't get through for something positive for change, then we got to do something else because it's not working. And if this is happening in front of us, in the news, everywhere, so imagine what's happening to our children. Imagine what's going on behind closed doors in schools. He's sitting there wanting, oh, we want you to show freedom of speech and freedom that we have the right to see. Well, we need to see how many kids you have expelled, how many children are kicked out of school for little or nothing. And it goes on without being said, nothing never gets done. People are tired of it. We know you're incarcerating our children. The stats are all there and they exist well. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ayana Nadira. I reside at 4 Indiana Place in Norwalk. I'm here in solidarity with my sister, Ms. Shirley Mosby, what she's experiencing here as a member of the board. As well, I'm here on behalf of my community, that's a black community, anybody who identifies as black, and also for the non-English speaking community as well. For a few years, I have been attempting to be a part of the high school code of conduct committee. Actually, I was a part of it. And then I was systematically, and purposely kept from the committee because of the things that I was saying and because I was not agreeing with some of the things that was coming up in the committee. And I would like to bring to your attention to the community and everybody else who is watching, who's listening and can hear me, that there is a committee that we should be a part of as parents, as teachers, as whomever, and if you're a part of this community, you should be able to be a part of it. So I'm asking the board to bring forth that committee again so that people can be a part of it. I had spoken with Mr. Dodona about it, and he was very resistant, and he is a part of the problem. He may not be a part of the Norwalk school system anymore. I don't know what he's doing, but what I do know is that we deserve to be a part of that, and I'm asking for that to be brought forth again. Thank you.